Yes, we are a little bit behind, obviously. So I do need to put the chat on screen, change the thing at the bottom. So give me a moment to do that, and then we'll have a look and see what we've got on the show tonight. I know that we do have Wesley versus Dijak. I know that we've got that match coming up. I know as well that we have got Jayne and Brooke against Blair Davenport. I'm aware of that. So I know there's a few interesting matchups, but we can jump over to Twitter and take a little gander and see what we've got over there. Right, so we have got... it's a massive night tonight, says WWE. A massive night with Heatwave just 1 week away. Who will step up and make their mark? Who's stepping up tonight on NXT? So we've got Wes Lee taking on Dijak. Winner will take on Carmelo Hayes. We've also got Trick taking on Drew Gulak. He is getting ready for his match against Ilya Dragunov next week. Then we've got Dana Brooke taking on Blair Davenport. And we've got an NXT Tag Team title match tonight. We've got Tony and Stacks taking on the Dyad. So we've got a few interesting matches tonight. A few things setting up for next week. Because as we said, it's Heatwave next week. I think, we came back watching NXT at Heatwave. So I think we've been back consistently watching NXT for the past 12 months. And we've spoke about it before, and I'm sure we'll speak about it again. I think it's really good. I think it's really, really good. I think that NXT has got itself into a really good position. So I'm looking forward to tonight. I'm looking forward to the next 12 months after this as well. As I said, I think NXT doing a fantastic job at the moment. And yeah, Heatwave next week. I remember watching that last year. I was so impressed with it that it hooked me and I was back. So I've got high hopes that next week's Heatwave is going to grab me and hook me just like it did last year. The other thing as well that we've got tonight before we jump into the chat says, after a confrontation this past weekend at an NXT live event, Tyler Bate will go one-on-one with Joe Coffey tonight on NXT. So we got that match as well. I saw someone asking about, not JPEG, shout out to you, said, serious question, when do you think CM Punk drama in AEW will end? I think it's going to keep ticking over. I mean, look, what I've heard, I haven't heard loads. I must admit, this is not drama that I tend to follow, so I can't say I'm the best person to kind of have this conversation. But yeah, I've been following a few little bits as they've kind of popped up, but I have not been going out of my way to try and keep up specifically with this. My understanding is that he wanted... I'm going to turn up the audio here because it seems a bit quiet. Hang on, I'm turning it. I'm going 4 decibels louder. I might go 5 decibels louder. There we go. That's better. That sounds better. Right, so, yeah, I've heard about Hangman arriving at Collision and then being told he wasn't welcome and being sent away. So... But news has come out that that's not true. News has come out that apparently the location moved, and that's why he was told to go somewhere else. Apparently CM Punk's made it clear he did not prevent Hangman from coming in. So the problem you've got is anything that's going to go a little bit off with Hangman or Kenny or the Bucks and it be involved with Collision, anything like that, is going to obviously have people talking. Like this isn't going to go away until we know that all sides are on the same page. Because people are always going to speculate about how Hangman feels about CM Punk, how CM Punk feels about Hangman, how Kenny feels about Punk. And every time they're in the same building, people are just expecting or anticipating there being some drama. So to be honest, I think until Kenny, CM Punk, Hangman, Bucks visibly show that they are on the same page and show that, the past is the past, we're moving forwards, were all united and everything. Until we kind of get something like, there's always going to be that speculation. Because it's free clicks, free likes, free views. You tease any drama between the Elite and CM Punk, any member of the Elite and CM Punk, easy views, right? So apparently this Hangman thing I heard or saw on social media earlier, apparently it was a change in location for where they were filming this vignette or whatever, and it didn't have anything to do with CM Punk apparently. But this is about 24 hours after news had broken that it had. I actually don't know the Nick Nemeth news. Actually, that was another one I saw. I don't know that one. So I can't comment on that. I don't even know what that's about. And then the other one is CM Punk. I don't think there's much to this. So apparently Jack Perry wanted to do something involving real glass that people were not keen about. And apparently CM Punk stood up and was vocal. You know, he's clearly not an unopinionated person. He is someone that's got a voice and knows how to use it. He has made it very clear, we're not doing that. That's not happening, right? With this glass situation. To be honest, I don't know what that was. I haven't seen the details as to what that was, but apparently he got in an argument with Jack Perry over this real glass situation. So I don't know. I mean, look, you're always going to have things like this that's going to come out. I don't know that I don't know what I can blame CM Punk for here, you know? If Jack Perry wants to do something involving real glass and people are uncertain and uncool with it and not comfortable with it, if no one for some reason is willing to speak out but CM Punk will, I can't say that he's wrong for doing that. I mean, like, he has expressed like his opinion, which apparently from what I've seen has been shared by other people. You never know if you're getting the truth, of course. You never know if you're getting the truth. But I'm only telling you what I've seen. And what I've seen is something to do with real glass. There was people that were uncomfortable with it. CM Punk was the one that spoke out. It led to an argument before Collision. And, you know, that's become a thing. But what's CM Punk necessarily done wrong there? Was he meant to keep quiet and just allow the real glass thing to happen that people were seemingly uncomfortable with? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Once you've got a reputation, right? Once you've got a reputation, then trouble just has a way of finding you, doesn't it? I mean, he will be outspoken. He's someone that will always use his voice. And I think that obviously gets him into trouble as well. But from what I've read there, I don't think he was wrong to express his opinion on this. I don't think he was wrong. The Nick Nemeth, however you pronounce his name, whatever that is, I don't know what that is. So I can't comment on that. And then the Hangman thing, as I said, seems to have just been a misunderstanding. So I don't think that anything's going to go away anytime soon. Not whilst there is money to be made in CM Punk drama. There is money to be made in talking about backstage issues regarding CM Punk. There is money to be made in people that hate CM Punk reading more things that will make them hate CM Punk. There's money to be made in CM Punk fans having more that they have to try and defend, right? Whatever side you want to come at it, there's clearly Elite fans, there's clearly CM Punk fans, and there's clearly conflict. And this conflict between those groups is a great opportunity for a lot of people to make money. Clicks, views, engagement, TikToks, Instagram shorts, YouTube shorts, whatever, right? So whilst that opportunity is there, people ain't going to stop. People ain't going to stop. So it ain't going to go away anytime soon. But I would be really interested to know if anyone knows what the Nick Nemeth thing is. Dirty Dom, Dirty Aunt Trini, shout out to you, said Punk apologized for his comments about Adam, but I will never understand that an almost 50-year-old man behaving like he's 16 to get heat or not. It's dumb at this point. It's McCade said, Streets are saying Aaliyah is returning on SmackDown, but she's blocked lots of people, including me on Twitter. So I'm holding a grudge. Well, didn't the Streets also say last night that Lacey Evans was out of WWE? Wasn't that something else that the Streets were saying? So I don't know where we are with that. Last night she had WWE still in her name, in her bio. We got anywhere more with that? No. Still nothing has been confirmed by WWE. Still nothing has been confirmed by Lacey Evans. To answer the question, so this is Sportskeeda. To answer the question, Lacey Evans hasn't left WWE. The reason fans think that she's no longer a superstar is because she changed her bio. It's worth noting that she still has the name of the sports entertainment juggernaut on her socials. So, I mean, I don't know, man. The streets fumble around in the dirt a lot, I think. Don't get me wrong, sometimes they find some little nuggets that prove to be correct, and sometimes they just find dirt that is just dirt. And not even juicy dirt, just dirt. You know, the dirt stuff. I believe there have been talks about Omega and Punk, said Jarrett, wanting to settle differences and have a match. It's just Young Bucks and Hangman who are holding Omega back from doing it. It's McCade said, I think she's waiting for her contract to expire. AB Jobson said, Lacey Evans is a lemon where the streets have no name. Edge retiring this year. Yes, no, maybe, says Not JPEG. Tricky, because there is a thought that he may retire on Friday. There is a thought that the emotional kind of build up to his match with Sheamus, which, because Sheamus is the one that got him to come back for this run, might be the perfect person for Edge to have his final match against, as a bit of a thank you to Sheamus for being the one that brought him back. You're the one that I want to lose to on my way out, and I want to do it in Canada. It's his 25th anniversary within the company as well. But, you know, a lot of people might look at it and go, well, he will want to go out at WrestleMania, because he could absolutely go out at WrestleMania 40. But for some people, WrestleMania is not the pinnacle. For some people, just being able to go out on your own terms where you want to go out. Don't forget, he had his career took away from him for years and years and years. So some of those missing years he's managed to get back now. And so he's had a good, 3+ years. And if Canada is where he wants to go out in front of friends and family and fellow countrymen, main event in the show on his 25th anniversary, taking on the person that brought him back, I can totally understand why there is a school of thought that this ends Friday. I genuinely don't know. I mean, what really at this point, what would you be trying to reach? What would you be trying to get to if you go past it? I've got to think it would have to be WrestleMania. I've got to think WrestleMania 40 is the only thing you'd be working to. Because SummerSlam's gone. And I don't think anyone gives a flip about Saudi or Survivor Series. I mean, they're decent-sized shows. Let's not get it twisted. But are you really sticking around so you can say goodbye in Saudi Arabia? Like, I don't think so. Are you really sticking around so you can say goodbye at Survivor Series? And I certainly don't think it'll be one of the Payback or one of the B shows. So if it ain't Friday, I've got to think that he's going on to WrestleMania 40. So I don't want to do maybe. I'm going to say that he carries on to WrestleMania 40. I'm going to say he carries on. I think it's so hard for people to say goodbye, that even though last year he might have had the intention to call it time and walk away at this point, I think there is a truth that he had that intention to walk away and say goodbye. I think when the time actually comes, it's hard. Because now he's here, he's got to be thinking, I could get to WrestleMania 40 and have just one more WrestleMania. And WrestleMania 40 as well, 40 years of WrestleMania. Like, I think he'll be tempted to do that. I think he'll be tempted to carry on. I suppose it depends how we made any indication this is going to be his last match, but it's just something that makes sense considering the comments he made last year and blah, 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 blah. I'm going to say he carries on. But if he does walk away on Friday, I could totally understand why as well. Totally understand. What's your thoughts on the U2 song, Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me? I like it. It's not my favorite U2 song. I think I Will Follow is my favorite U2 song, which I think was their very first single. I do like With or Without You. Actually, the first time I ever heard With or Without You was during Friends. Because I hadn't really got into U2 when I was a kid. And I remember Friends being on, and there was like this scene, I don't know, probably something to do with Ross and Rachel. I think it was Ross and Rachel, actually. And there was, clearly, I knew it was U2 because Bono's voice is very distinctive. But I had actually not heard With or Without You at that point in my life. And so this song played, and I recognized that it was U2. I knew that. Because I'd heard stuff like Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me. Which I don't know if that was in a Batman film. I see. Maybe that had like Batman in the music video. I remember U2 being on like the music TV channels a lot, and so I knew the voice. I could recognize the voice, and but I had not heard With or Without You, and it was a beautiful song. It was an amazing song. Really loved it, and I remember that inspired me to then go out and really dig into the U2 back catalogue. So, yeah, that's where I got like Achtung Baby and, Joshua Tree and really got their albums. So I've got their albums now. I can't say that I've really dug into them much, if I'm going to be honest. I mean, I've hammered the greatest hits. So I know their singles and everything, but I mean, deep cut album tracks, I'd be lost. But yeah, With or Without You, that's caught my attention. But I think I Will Follow is the one that stands out to me. But I like Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me. That was on TV a lot when I was a kid. I think it was something in a Batman film. It was Batman Forever, along with Kiss from a Rose. Oh, that was on TV all the time as well, yeah. Yeah. But that gives you an idea of like when I was young and what was on the music channels when I was young. I mean, it was things like the Spice Girls, obviously, Wannabe. You had a lot of Oasis, like Wonderwall, Don't Look Back in Anger. You had Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me. You had Michael Jackson, Earth Song. You had Kiss from a Rose. I remember being on there a lot as well. So those are the kind of tracks I remember seeing. And, like with the radio, there'd be a playlist and they'd hammer largely the same songs. I remember like Alanis Morissette and Sheryl Crow. I think we got a bit of Shania Twain, but that might have been a few years later. Britney Spears, of course, when she burst on the scene with Hit Me Baby One More Time. So those are the kind of tracks that I was seeing when I was young. Jarrett said, given that Edge is 49 and then whenever he turns 50 in October, we could see him retire at Crown Jewel or WrestleMania, one of those big pay-per-view events. We know the Saudis want the dollar for every superstar they can get, especially someone like Edge, who is a show stopper. Yeah, I can see him going to Saudi. I think, though, if he decides that he wants to retire, I mean, he retires. Their money, I don't know. I mean, he might be tempted by one more of those big paydays. I think they get paid very well to go to Saudi. So, yeah, he may be tempted to do Saudi one more time. But I don't think he would retire in Saudi. I don't think he'd wrap it up there. I think, as I said, if you're going past Friday, I think you go to WrestleMania. But Call Me, Kill Me was in Batman Forever, says Jim. Yeah, the only reason I know that is because of the video. I seem to remember Batman being involved. Wrestle with Andy, hello. Shout out to you, bud. Said maybe he starts announcing a retirement, then someone comes out and attacks him to build to a retirement match. Maybe, baby. Daze, sorry, last night issue with a Bab. She is okay. It will be like this till the birth. I see the ending of Raw was terrible, said Steven. The ending of Raw was a bit strange, to be honest, because I think for me, it was, I really liked Damian sliding that briefcase in and Finn Balor watching it go between his legs and that moment of, oh my God. I really liked that. And I actually put it out as a short because it was one of the most fun moments of the show, to be honest. It was one of the moments of the show I was most engaged with and most animated about, was that moment where he's standing there and it goes in between his legs. But the problem I had was that he loses, and then once he loses, they work together to beat up Cody and they beat up Sammy, and then there's no sign of drama between Finn and Damian. Like, they just seem to really enjoy beating up Cody and Sammy, and they've got their arm around each other at the end. There's no dirty looks or anything that I could see. They look great. They look fine. Everything's dandy. So I was disappointed in that. That was the thing that disappointed me. I think to have such a good moment where they've done that bit where it's gone between his legs, like that to me was a really fun moment. But to then sort of bury it immediately after by beating up Cody and Sammy, which is fine, but having your arm around each other and just looking like everything's great, and there was no sign of drama then. That kind of left me a bit disappointed because I felt the story got a bit confused, because I don't think the story was they're back on the same page now, because the commentators weren't hitting that point across. And so I think there's still drama, but for that brief moment right at the end of the show, they didn't seem to show it. So it just felt a little confused to me. So yeah, I don't know. The ending, there was a bit that I really liked, and then a bit that I was left a bit confused by. I like the Becky Lemon thing. I didn't know that story. So finding out about the lemons and the lemonade and all that stuff, I didn't know about that stuff. And so that was cool, the t-shirt bit, and the Piper Niven being the new partner of Chelsea. That felt like it was quite significant talking point. You know, some people saying that she shouldn't just get the belt because, you know, you can't just say you're the champ and join up. It's an interesting conversation. I actually don't know. I mean, this is where, like, there's no real rules to go to, is there? I mean, what are the rules? I don't know. I've never been told what these rules are. I don't think these rules are actually written down anywhere, right? So I don't know that we're breaking any rules because I don't know what the rules are. So you've got one partner. I mean, think about it. If they were the Fabulous Freebirds or the New Day, if Big E was to get injured, then Kofi and Xavier would continue as, you know, a partnership, wouldn't they? No, if you had New Day and say Kofi got injured, no one would bat an eyelid if Big E and Kofi had won the titles. But now it's Big E and Xavier that's carrying it on. No one would bat an eyelid with that. The difference here is that Piper Niven has not been part of this group until now, until after they've won the titles. Whereas in the other example, Xavier or Kofi, they would have been part of New Day before they won even though they weren't in the match, even though they weren't the ones that won the belts, they still were part of the group. But this is where you start to get into a bit of a gray area. Like, why can that person that was not part of that winning match defend the titles under a Freebird rule, right? Because it comes from the Fabulous Freebirds, under the Freebird rule. Why is it acceptable for them, but it's not acceptable if your partner gets injured for you to just then go and replace that partner and you carry on with someone different? Same thing, isn't it? Same thing. But slightly different because New Day obviously would have been together as a threesome before winning the titles, whereas Piper's come in after they've won the titles. But this rule ain't written down anywhere. Like, nowhere am I aware of that you cannot do this. Where does it say you cannot do this? Where are the rules anyway? You know? So I don't have a very strong opinion on it as a result. Like, I don't have a strong opinion on it because it's not written down anywhere. It's not, I don't know what the rule is. No one's ever told me what the rule is. I don't think this has ever come up before. So as a result, we are setting precedents, really. The one that's going to get people upset is the fact that very recently, Liv got injured and Raquel forfeited the titles, right? And so people are going to say and use that as the comparison. But if you want to use that as the comparison, what I would counter with is that Adam Pearce was about to take the title from Chelsea as well. So he took the titles away from Raquel because you know you're not a tag team anymore. You're just on your own. So I'm afraid I have to take those off, and we need to find a tag team. To my knowledge, Raquel never floated the idea of finding a new partner. Raquel never tried to replace Liv. I didn't see Raquel making that effort or propose. If she had said, what if I get a new partner? And then Adam Pearce had said, you can't do that, right? If that had happened, then yes, of course, then all of a sudden we've got something that we can use as, you know, well, you can't do that. I mean, literally just the other week, Adam Pearce said you can't do that. Then we would have something. I have not seen that. I mean, what I saw was Raquel seemingly just not putting up much of a fight to keep those titles. I think her friend was injured and she was just willing to accept that their run was over. And so she moved on. Chelsea, being a heel, being more out for herself, was not willing to accept that the run was over and was willing to actually fight a little bit harder to keep those titles. Hence why she was trying to come up with ideas of how about we do Chelsea's Got Talent and we tried to find me a new partner and all that kind of stuff. And so she was proposing that they go down those roads. And then Piper Niven came in and went, I'm your new partner now. And, you know, I'm guessing that Adam Pearce has looked at it and gone, okay, yeah. To be honest, he just doesn't want the paperwork, does he? Do you know what I mean? He doesn't want to have to do tournaments to find new champions. This is just a great way of him just being able to carry on and not have to worry about stuff. Like, sometimes in life, problems do resolve themselves and you just let them get on with it, you know? That way he can go back to doing what he needs to do, which, I don't know, looking at dirty pictures of Linda McMahon, like us all. I have no idea. I don't know what he does in his spare time. But, yeah, for me, I don't have a massive ish with it, as I said. But it's one that is controversial. It's one that I've seen plenty of opinion on. WWE always books faces a certain way. It's all about adversity till the audience demands they win. What about that do people not understand after 3 decades of it? What's with the American bunting, said Undercover Manager. This is left over from Great American Bash, when we did Great American Bash. And I did a short reaction video from last week's NXT. I can't remember what it was. But I saw that I hadn't noticed, to be honest. But I saw that it was still up from Great American Bash. But I really liked the fact that it was different to the normal bunting we have on the Raw and the SmackDown stream. So it got me thinking of like, right, I feel like I need to have bunting for Raw. I need to keep the American stuff up, so I think it looks quite colourful and cool, right? Keep that up for NXT. Maybe I'll replace it with something different if I think of something in the future. And then I need something else different for SmackDown. I think it just helps give each one its own identity as well, the background its own identity. Obviously, we changed the color of the background as well, which I think massively helps. I think, again, it just helps things feel that little bit different. But I like this. I like it. I like the bunting thing. Since we put the bunting up, I've kept it, and then we've kept it up for a long time. So I like the bunting. I changed it for Great American Bash for NXT. And then just forgot about it, to be honest. And but I did notice it when I did that short, and I was like, oh, I like it, actually. I like it. Need to think of something different for SmackDown, which I don't know what that should be. I probably should Google bunting and just see what they've got. Big Time said Lacey changed her bio to former WWE superstar, put it on Instagram. She's a free agent when the clock strikes 12. Her last TV was on SmackDown 54 days ago. It's not a 90-day non-compete. Well, I'll just believe it when I see it, buds. This was something that was being spoke about last night. So once it comes out and WWE talk about it, then we'll talk about it. I mean, to be honest, she probably should go because they ain't done anything with her, have they? What is the announcement on NXT? I didn't even know there was one, to be honest. Is there an announcement on NXT? Is there an announcement? Let me click on NXT. Massive night tonight. Heatwave is just one day away. Competition this past week. Trick Williams made a huge statement last week. Can he make another one tonight? Who will face Carmelo at Heatwave? Please join me. Oh, Mustafa Ali says, please join me for a very important announcement. That one. It's from Mustafa Ali. I mean, I don't think anything coming out of Mustafa Ali is going to be an important announcement, to be honest. So, that one from Mustafa Ali. Well, we'll find out together. We'll find out together. I think Sammy needs to be a singles wrestler again. If Kevin's not coming back or hinted retirement, I think Sammy needs to start wrestling top guys and then work his way to Roman and have a rematch. That would be a filler. Another high-stakes match between Roman and Sammy, and it will further prolong Cody and Roman, said Jarrett. Do you think these days it might be better for wrestlers to never really have an official retirement match so they can always come back if they want to? I don't think so. I think even if you have a retirement match, you can still come back, can't you? Plenty of people have done that. I think that retirement matches are good. I mean, if you've got a retirement match, when you're doing a pay-per-view card, one of the big things you can do to make matches feel more important is make them title matches, of course, right? So you can put a belt on the line between two guys, and all of a sudden that match means a lot more because there's a title on the line. If you can't do a title because that's elsewhere, then what you can do is you could do a stipulation like Hell in a Cell to, oh my God, this is going to be brutal or whatever it might be, right? But you're always looking for something to make the matches engaging. Now, hopefully you can do that through the builds. But to be honest, as we know, like 90% of builds are just not very good. 90% of builds are just two guys, someone attacking someone backstage, then doing a few promos in the ring, and then we're going to have a match, right? So 90% of builds are literally just that. They don't really get any more exciting than that. This is why I think Bray is so loved, because Bray at least gives you fun houses and puppets and howdies, and you've at least got something different going on in the build for his matches, whereas for a lot of other people it's just backstage attack, promo, blah blah blah, whatever. So what you're looking for is you're looking to make matches as engaging on a card as possible. One of the other best ways of doing that is if someone is coming towards the end of their career and you can bill it as a retirement match. So that match, again, is elevated. This is the final time. It's the last time, end of the road. And you don't want to do that unless they're actually going. You don't want to pull that lever unless they really are retiring. I wouldn't say let's do it and then the next week we just carry on and everything's... You can't do that. So, these are not matches that you can do often, but you should be able to get a couple in a year. Every year, you would imagine there's people that are calling it quits. I mean, every year we're bringing more people up from NXT. So every year you would imagine there's people that are looking to wrap things up. So I'm all for retirement matches. I think that they have got a place in WWE. I think it allows the fans to say goodbye. I really don't worry about if that superstar wants to come back. Like, we said goodbye to Kurt. If Kurt was still in a good shape and he wanted to return, I'd welcome him back. Even though we said goodbye to him, I don't think anyone enjoyed his final match being against Baron Corbin, or that version of Baron Corbin at that time. So I would quite happily welcome him back to give him a better send-off if he wanted another final little run. So it's not something that bothers me. I think the Ric Flair one would bother me a little if he came back, because, again, with Kurt, he went and it wasn't very good, was it? Right? We could have done better than that. We should have done better than that. And so he went, and I feel a bit sorry for him. But with Ric Flair, I mean, it was perfect. I don't think there is a better retirement match than that one he has with Shawn Michaels. And the "I'm sorry, I love you," the super kick, he's finally beaten. They built it up. I mean, like, that is an ending fit for someone of his stature. You know, that is Ric Flair, who is one of the greatest of all times, one of the most decorated of all times. He deserves to go out with an ending like that. Like, I think if you've got such a good story, you want the ending to be just as equally as good. If you're talking about one of the most decorated wrestlers, someone that means so much to so many people because, you know, he was in WCW, he was in the territories, he was NWA World Champion, he was at Starrcade, he was like right up there with Hogan in the 80s as to who is the face of wrestling, right? Is it Ric Flair or is it Hulk Hogan? Hence why when Flair came in, everyone wanted to see that match between them. It's still stunning that just because some of the reactions were a bit flat at house shows, that we didn't do it at WrestleMania. It's got to be seen as the biggest missed opportunity to have not done Flair Hogan at WrestleMania 8. But whatever. Flair Macho was still incredible. But yeah, you know, it's retirement matches for me. I think there's definitely a place for them. But as we said, with Ric Flair and his being so perfect, like, for him to come back and spoil that, I don't think his farewell would be able to be as great as that. I don't think you'd be able to repeat that. I don't think you'd be able to cap that. I think that was magic. Certainly that moment where you've got Shawn saying, "I'm sorry, I love you." Like, he doesn't want to do it. And you're not going to be able to recapture that. You're not going to be able to recapture. You'd have to tell a different story. And that's going to be hard, isn't it? So, like, for the Ric Flair one, I wouldn't. And he's old as well, isn't he? I mean, by the time he retired, he was like 82. So I don't, you know, there's some that I would welcome back with open arms. And then there's some like Flair that it's like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. I wish we'd got a chance to really say goodbye to Hogan. Because again, you know, Hogan, we never got that big final farewell. Hogan would have deserved one of those types of moments. I wish Hogan had been a better person. Because I wish Hogan had got one of those "I'm sorry, I love you" type moments. I wish Hogan had stayed pure and hadn't have made the comments he made and wasn't the backstage bully, like, if you want. I mean, he obviously threw his power around to try and stay at the top of the card, and all of that's come out in recent years. I mean, I don't think he is the face of evil by any means, right? And I think, unfortunately, it's just that we spoke about this the other day. I think that there's still people that love him and have got a fondness for him and forgive him for the comments he made. He apologized. And then I think there's people that are just disappointed in him, that are like, it just doesn't hit the same anymore. I think I'm in that group. You know, I'm disappointed in him. I'm really disappointed, and it just doesn't hit the same anymore. I don't hate him. Like, I would still go to Hogan's Beat Shop. And to be honest, if he was there, I would still love to meet him and get a picture with him, because it's Hulk Hogan. WrestleMania 1, WrestleMania 2, WrestleMania 3 against Andre the Giant. You know, they're still making figures. They're still making pop vinyl. Still pumping out the merch. You know, WWE wished him happy birthday the other day. So, you know, when I go to Florida, I want to go to Hogan's Beach Shop. And actually, I went in 2018 as well. So I don't see him as the devil or anything like that. But I am so disappointed and let down in him. Super, like, to the point where, like, yeah, when he comes out, I feel the same as everyone else. It's just a bit flat. You just feel a bit flat and a bit sorry and just it's a bit awkward. This guy that's coming out that was the face of wrestling that's fallen so hard. I wish none of that had happened. And I wish that he could have had one of those Ric Flair moments, because we have to say that his career deserved that. His career deserved that type of a moment, you know. But he made the comments he made, and that, you know, cannot be forgotten. It's questionable as to whether it can be forgiven, but it cannot be forgotten. And we just have to move on, don't we? To be honest, we have to move on and just remember other people, like Undertaker and whatever. I mean, Undertaker, he didn't quite get his farewell the way we would have liked. I mean, really, could you imagine if he'd had a banger against Roman at WrestleMania 33? I'm talking like a match that was up there with the Shawn match, the Shawn matches, the Triple H matches. Imagine if that Roman match had been that same level, that same bracket. And then you get what we got at the end of WrestleMania 33. Hat comes off. Jacket comes off. He goes over, puts his arm in the air. He goes down. I mean, there were people crying. There were people in tears. I was welling up as well. I mean, it was beautiful. It was so... I mean, I might say perfect again. It felt perfect. WrestleMania 33 in the way that ends. It felt perfect. It felt like the perfect way to say goodbye. And really, outside of the Boneyard match at 36, 3 years later, I don't think there's any matches after that 33 match that's worthy of his career. I don't think there's any matches that you're like, yeah, we needed to do that. I'm glad he stuck around because we needed to do that. I don't think we need, other than the Boneyards, which I think is definitely a high point in his career. It's definitely a well-received good match. Other than that, I don't think, you know, he did a tag match. I can't remember what the show was, one of the pay-per-views. Him and Roman against Shane and someone. Corbin, maybe? Corbin and Shane against Roman and Undertaker. I mean, all right. I can't even remember who's in it. It was all right. It was probably the best thing we had following WrestleMania 33, but clearly we don't need that match with Goldberg. And he did a casket match with Rusev, didn't he? Which we didn't need as well. And I think the Brothers of Destruction against DX was after that. Didn't need that. Didn't need it. I think, does he do a match with Triple H at Super Showdown? No one remembers. Didn't need it. Didn't do anything. It was rubbish. Flat. I think we could have done without all those. So, no, I think to get rid of retirement matches, I think would be a real shame. I know we spent a long time on this, but I think there's some really interesting bits that you can dig into. AB said, I saw Hogan at the beach once in Clearwater. Oh, there's a great video, and I'm sure you might have seen it. There's a kid who walks into Hogan's beach shop, and Hogan's in there, and this kid who's 6, apparently, he's like, what you gonna do, Hulkster? I'm 6 years old now. Last time we met, I was 3 years old. So we need to go bigger, brother. We need to raise it up, brother. Just like you raised up that giant above your head, that stinking giant, before you slammed him down in the table at WrestleMania 3, man. And he goes off into this 6-year-old goes off into this promo, talks about the 24-inch pythons. He's got a Kevin Owens shirt on for some reason, not Hulkster. Rips his shirt off. What you gonna do? It's so good. It is so good. You can tell that he has practiced. He has lived that promo, cutting it, I'd imagine, like so many times at home. But brilliant. He nails it. It's brilliant. A lot like the kid that people were talking about that came off the bus. Kid came off the bus and did like the full Stone Cold thing. Did the whole Stone Cold, smashed the milk cartons together and was drinking the milk, and he came off the school bus. That's another great one. Yeah, it's brilliant. I saw that clip got recommended to me on TikTok the other day. So I would definitely go to his beat shop again. There's some amazing stuff in there as well. I got to hold, and apparently it was the actual one. I don't know if it is, but there is a picture of me, which might be in the toy hunt actually, holding the actual belt that they had at WrestleMania 3. Cost about $20 just to have a picture with it. But that's nothing. It's nothing, is it, compared to what you're holding in your hands, which has been held by, I'd imagine, thousands of people. But it feels delicate in the hand. It feels it doesn't feel like it's just a replica. It feels old and worn, and it feels like legit. Having held like some replica belts and other belts throughout my time, this one just felt different. And it feels legit, and like to think that is the one they had in '88 at WrestleMania 3, and it's what Hogan and Andre were fighting over, and like, oh man, it's so good. If you get a chance to do that, you got to do that. That was at the Orlando one, not the Clearwater one. That was at the Orlando one, but I think they do. I don't know if they move it actually. They might have it in both locations sometimes. Not at the same time, of course. There's only one belt, but I think they do like. Change them over, because there's two beat shops, in the one in Clearwater, one in Orlando. But I mean, he's got like the helmet that he wore that they made the Mattel figure on. He's got the ring. There's the car from when they were at Orlando, and there's just loads of stuff, man. And so much signed stuff. I mean, he signed pretty much everything, but as a result, everything's super expensive. But yeah, you could easily get like a legit signed Hogan item. I mean, they've got posters and cards and old rare figures, but I mean, you're talking hundreds, thousands, sometimes of dollars. But it's an amazing place to go to. Amazing place. Hogan was never a favorite of mine. I don't feel much when I see him. I think I was more disillusioned with his actions and racism than angry, says Trini. Jarrett said, it's not really if the person forgives you, it's if you forgive yourself. That's the big thing. Adam said, Spain 2, Sweden 1. First semi-final in Auckland, New Zealand, 12 hours ago. Congrats to Spain for reaching their first World Cup final. Joe said, no one will replace Taker. Let's go, NXT. Yep, 2 minutes to go. 2 minutes. England versus Australia, second semi-final, is 9 hours and 6 minutes away. Precise, isn't it? Mitchell said, I low-key have started looking forward to NXT. It's honestly becoming one of my favorite shows to watch. I think it's better than Raw and SmackDown at times. I agree. I agree. I agree. Do you know what? When I do those recap review videos, I still keep trying. Honestly, I keep trying to make them as quick as I can. But certainly when it comes to Raw, it's a bit of a challenge because Raw obviously ends quite late anyway. But like tonight, hopefully get it up as quick as possible. But yeah, there's so much in NXT. NXT is 2 hours compared to a Raw that's 3. But honestly, I feel like there's as many matches as a 3-hour Raw as there is a 2-hour NXT. And I reckon there's more backstage segments. We constantly go backstage on NXT. Constantly go backstage. And they do off-location, a lot more off-location recordings as well. You know, I suppose like they do house shows, but they're all in Florida, aren't they? It's easier for them to film in the local area, know where to go. I think they've got maybe a few relationships with certain places. I suppose it's different when you're going from town to town, state to state, constantly going to different locations. I'd imagine it's probably harder to do, you know, location shoots compared to if you're in NXT. We do get a lot more from NXT. I think it really helps the show. I think it really helps the show. You know, with Kiana, we see her in her office. Briggs and Jensen, we go to their bar. Like, we do a lot more. Gallus, we go to their pub. You know, we see these superstars, these wrestlers, in a lot more of their kind of natural environments, if you will. So yeah, I agree. I miss the black and gold NXT. I won't forgive Vince for killing it to not be outshined by his son-in-law, but I still like current NXT for what it is, says Lance. Have you ever been to Progress, said Ryan. I haven't. No, I've never been to Progress. It's funny because when I used to work in a shop in, I want to say about 2012, and a lot of the people that worked there used to go to Progress. So I could have gone with them. They were really into it. They loved it. They loved it more than WWE. Here's Tony, right? We are starting with Tony and Stacks. Tony and Stacks making their way out. Tony and Stacks taking on the Dyad. Okay, NXT Tag Champs making their way down to the ring. Right, I don't think we're getting new champs. Probably should put that in the chat, shouldn't we? Are we getting new championes? Who wins? Dyad or Tony? Let's go. Right, here's the Dyads. Okay, Ava, Dyad, and Jacy, and a lot of followers coming out as well. A lot of followers coming out. But we are Legion. Is that what it says? What the flip does it say on their masks? Sort of like their theme music, you know. It's not the kind of music that I'd be into, but I don't know. We are Legion, I think it says. I don't even know what that means. 1-4. Okay, Ava and Jacy on the outsides, along with a lot of masked individuals. We're seeing more and more masked followers coming down to the ring. But please get Booker T off commentary. He sucks, said Realistically Speaking. I've got the family, says Nicole. Love Booker T, but just not as a commentator, said Lance. Okay, so we are seeing Tony and Stacks holding up those NXT tag titles. Are the Dyad game ready? Are they ready for the game? Triple H. NXT Black and Gold was the best. You had people from the indies and different promotions come join Black and Gold brand. Feel like NXT developmental, but a third brand. Suka said Diamond Mine interference. It's a good shout. Yep. You definitely see the creeds preventing this being a win for the Dyad. People coming around, standing, blocking, preventing Tony from getting at the Dyads. So these followers on the outside at the moment are helping, but for how long? For how long? Love is blind. Grass is always greener on the other side. The jam, man. It's a jam. Booker T is fantastic on commentary, said Sean. How are you, Daze, said Nicole. I'm good, thank you. Hope you're well. That said, Vince didn't like it. It got more views than Raw and SmackDown. The wrestlers came to NXT Black and Gold were not from WWE, meaning they were trained in the way Vince had them trained. Right, we've got Stacks in control. Anna said Vince needs to retire. What's he done now? What's he done now? Oh, blooming Vince. He needs to go. I don't know what he's done. What has he done? Dyad haven't won this match yet, blooming Vince. Hit coming in there by Reed. Jagger Reed. I can never remember it. Jagger Reed. It's still James Drake to me. Jagger Reed. I know Rip Fowler. I don't know why. I can always remember that one. But Jagger Reed, I always keep forgetting. Yeah. Hashtag fire Vince, said Mitchell. Let's go. Tommy Toy Travels says NXT confirmed. Nice. Oh yeah. Caviar Dreams, says Booker T. Headlock takeover there by Stacks. Stacks going back. Tag. Here comes Rip Fowler. Again, headlock takeover by Stacks. Oh yeah. The Kool-Aid guy would be just as good on commentary as Booker T is. Oh yeah. I don't know if the Kool-Aid guy would talk about caviar dreams or have a quacky, shucky, ducky, quack, quack moment. I have no idea. Spicy meatball! Spicy meatball! Have they got a move called the spicy meatball? I hope so. Over the top. Arm drag over the top by Tony. 2 Stacks. He comes crashing down on the Dyad. That's the spicy meatball. NXT. Stacks going up top. Uppercut. Down goes Rip Fowler. Mitchell said Vince got back surgery. Fire him. Anna said yes. Fire Vince McMuffin. Oh, imagine if you could get a Vince McMuffin. Be nice, wouldn't it? Like a good McMuffin, I do. I don't want one that sexually abuses me, though. Tony goes to the outsides. Okay, now it's the Dyad in control. What the hell was that? What the hell was that? What the flip? Stacks ends up going into the commentary table. But this move, I don't even think he touched Stacks. I'm going to have a look at a replay here. Rip Fowler. Jagger Reed. It's rubbish, man. Jagger Reed kind of jumps towards the rope with an elbow. Does not hit Stacks. And Stacks jumps off the edge of the ring into the commentary table. Commentary table doesn't break. I think he actually catches the edge of it. Unlucky, lads. Unlucky. Fire Vince! Fire Vince! Oh, God. Did you see that move that was botched? Oh, fire Vince! Fire him! Get him! Stupid. He just jumped off the apron. Anna said, yeah, fire them both. That was bad, says Tom's filthy, nasty little Aubrey. Well, it's just a bad day at the office. Slightly off day at the office. We all have them. Zach Gibson and James Drake, the grizzled young veterans. When's Heatwave? Next week, Princess Lady. Next week. Robert said, hashtag fire Vince the Lemon. Travis said, I don't like Booker on commentary, but he is better than Excalibur. Greggy said, how you doing? I'm good, thank you. Why does Triple H get all the credit for NXT when it was Dusty that built it up and Vince who funded it? Well, I think Triple H gets it because he was the driving force behind it. My understanding is that Dusty did a lot of work in training and promos and gave creative ideas, but I think the final say was Triple H. I don't think it was Dusty that had the final say on. I'm sure he did have a very influential voice. In fact, I know he did, but I don't think it was Dusty that was the one that was actually going, no, this is what we put down on paper. This is going to be the run sheet, if you will. But yeah, I mean, he was massively influential. And you hear that from people talking about being in promo classes with him and all that. But I mean, listen, if you talk to Triple H about it, he will be the first to say that it was a team effort. So Triple H will be the first to say, no, look, it's William Regal, it's Dusty, it's Norman Smiley, it's Robbie Brookside, it's Sarah Del Rey. Like he'll talk about all the people behind the scenes that have made it what it is. But it's it's the same thing in most sports, isn't it? There's a lot of people that make WWE what it is, but it's Vince's name that's above the door. And so it's the same with NXT as well. It's Triple H's name that's above the door. He's the one that kind of signs everything off. So, but you're right. There's a lot of people that are working there that are contributing and certainly help make it what it is. One of the best interviews I saw with Triple H was when he was talking about the early days of NXT, and he said that he used to go to the different departments, and he said, like, can you help us out? We're trying to, come up with some graphics and whatever. And he said that in the early days of NXT, people wanted to give their spare time to actually just do NXT for free. There was a lot of graphics and production and editing and people making video packages, people making vignettes that were proper WWE people that were doing it just for free in their spare time because it was fun and they were allowed to let their creativity go a little bit. And Triple H obviously had a certain identity he was looking for, but as long as they fitted within that identity, they had a lot more free reign to do what they wanted, and there was this explosion of expression in the early stages of NXT, and he said a lot of the stuff we were doing was just people from the main roster just giving us their spare time. So it was never a heavily funded thing. I mean, yeah, the Performance Center was, but actually churning out a weekly show and the graphics needed for that and all the work that goes into that. There was never a crazy budget set aside for that. It was a lot of people doing it for the love of it. And, I think that really came through. We are NXT. You remember those shirts? We are NXT. That kind of family, all in it together, that kind of us against the world. That was a driving force in the early NXT. It's not there now. I wouldn't say they've got that same mantra or feeling now, but it did feel that way in the early stages. It's us against the world. I think it's because they were showing what WWE could be. At the time, WWE was not to everyone's taste, and NXT was showing this is what you want in it. We know what you want. This is the promotion you want. And it was different. Whereas now, I think because Triple H is booking the main roster's become a lot more credible with Bloodline and Roman and, dare I say, Judgment Day. And the women's division, Rhea, Bianca. Some great stuff going on. You go back to when NXT was first starting, you had Nikki Bella. You had the Divas belt. You had women that couldn't really wrestle. And you know, top of the card was John Cena, who a lot of people were bored with. And we were starting to get like the Shield coming through and things like that. But so there, you know, there was little shoots coming through. But by and large, NXT was fresh, exciting, different. Enziguri kick there by Stacks. Stacks trying to get over and make the tag. Here's Jagger Reed preventing Stacks from making that tag. Stacks is kicking out. In comes Tony. Clotheslines. Down goes the Dyads. We've got a poll underway. I'm going to end it now. We've had 100 odd votes. NXT needs some more indie tryouts. Well, they're up against it now, aren't they? Because all of a sudden now they're battling AEW for that indie talent. There's indie talent that finds its way to AEW that may have found its way to WWE before. Like a Ricky Starks, who was in NWA, same place that LA Knight was. He may have found his way to WWE rather than AEW if AEW wasn't around. Spinebuster. Spinebuster by Tony. Jason, shout out to you. What do you think is the card for Payback? 1, 2, shoulder up, only just. I mean, I'm thinking we are going to have to do Jimmy and Jay because word on the street is that Roman is not going to be defending at that card. So if there's no Roman on that card, then Shinsuke against Seth, I think looks pretty good. Raquel against Rhea, I think looks pretty good. Maybe they didn't announce when we're doing the steel cage match between Becky and Trish, but maybe we get to that. Gunther, I don't know if he's going to do his match with Chad. I know it's next week, but we could easily have there be something that happens, which then means we have to do a rematch at Payback. Ivy Nile has come down. Here we go. Now we've got them attacking. So, couple of the masked individuals. So, Ivy Nile in the entranceway. 1, 2, 3. And it's a win for Tony. Smile on the face of Ivy. All of the Schism followers went round to Ivy, who was in the entranceway. Couple of masked Schismites. Then attack. And that results in Tony picking up the win and retaining. So Ivy came out and got the attention of all the Schism members, allowing 2 masked men to attack the Dyads. I wonder who that is. Who's that? Who is that? Who just attacked the Dyad? Don't know. There's going to have to be a lot of decoding of that. We're going to have to get close-up shots of the little bit of faces that we can see. We're going to have to I'm going to have to go into my imaging, see if we can reference it against, I don't know, all the known wrestlers in the world. See if we can work out as to who it is. Tony D'Angelo won. Did you ever watch WWE CW or the game show? I watched the game show. I saw bits of the ECW one, but it wasn't. You know, what I'd seen and didn't really feel essential to me. Here's Eddie Thorpe. But I did watch the game show, NXT, when that replaced ECW. So, Eddie Thorpe. Dijak is the target of my focus. When that time comes, I will move forward without fear. That's a nice picture he's signing, isn't it? It's just like a bit of a silhouette. Here's Wesley coming over to Carmelo. Part of the job. Once I beat Dijak, the only thing you'll be signing is a contract to fight me, says Wesley. So Wesley and Carmelo just exchange a few words backstage. And now we've got Blair Davenport making her way down to the ring. Okay, Blair Davenport come into the ring, and so this is going to be Blair Davenport's taking on Dana Brooke. Dream match. Okay, Blair versus Dana. There we go. Blair, Dana coming up next. Do you think Sammy and Cody could take on Finn and Damian in a tornado match at Payback? Sammy, Cody, Finn, Damian, tornado match. I mean, they could, but I don't know that they will. They have both been laid out, though. I mean, I think I'd rather Cody in a singles match. I'm not really a big fan of singles guys being in a tag team or people in tag teams going in singles matches. Right, we're just seeing that Edge and Sheamus 25th year celebration live from Toronto this Friday. Are we saying goodbye? Owen said, I'm going to go to an NXT live event on Saturday. That is awesome. You'll have a great time. You'll have a great time. I don't even care if it's like a house show. In fact, any show, any NXT show, you're going to have a great time. You are seeing the stars of tomorrow in buildings that can hold like a few hundred people. It's crazy. And there's no reason. I mean, when I went in 2018, they had a table where you could meet some of the lower level names, you know, like I'd imagine if you went now, like maybe you could meet Lola Vice, maybe you could meet Valentina Feroz, maybe you could meet, I don't know, maybe they'll chuck someone on there that, you know, has got a bit more about them. But they tend to be people that are just cutting their teeth, you know. But that's cool because they obviously go on to big things. When I've said before, when I went in 2018, I can't quite remember who was on it, but I remember one was Santana Garrett. One, I think, was Xia Li. And the other might have been like Deonna Purrazzo or something like that. Something along those lines. It was 3 women, and you can meet them for free. Just join the queue before the show started. Pretty cool. Can't really do that when you go to WWE. There's no table where you can meet Roman and Solo and Bianca and whatever. So, yeah, I mean, the fact that you're in a room with like not many people, seeing the stars of tomorrow today, and you could meet some of them as well. And afterwards, for the main event, you know, if you hang around by the ring area, the barricade, someone in the main event is likely to come over and get a picture with you, whatever. I mean, I would just, as soon as the show ended, a load of people went to the barricade, so I was like, I'm going to do that. So I went to the barricade, got a picture with Kairi Sane. Kairi Sane? Had such a good time. I'm definitely doing it when I go again next year. I am going to Florida next year. Definitely going to an NXT show. Jason said, hello, Jason, shout out to you. Says, Daze, what show on your mind is better right now? They're difficult because I feel they're different. I don't think Raw. I think it's too long. Raw 3 hours of Raw has always been an hour too long, and I think if you've got some really good stuff happening, it doesn't feel as bad. Like if you've got, I don't know, like like Cody's involved in a really good story, and maybe you got Sammy and Kevin involved in a good story, and then like Judgment Day doing some good stuff, and maybe you've got a legend that's around Edge, or Cena's coming in for a week, or I don't know, like you can feel that time, but week in, week out, more often than not, you always feel like they could have took an hour off that show and it would have been better. It's always hard to say Raw. For me, it comes down to NXT or SmackDown, but I think the two shows are very different. I love NXT. I love what they're doing. It feels really solid. I'm so interested in a lot of their characters. I say NXT at the moment. Right, we've got Andre Chase. This is going to help her. Here's Thea. I know you've been a bit peed off, but I've got you a match tonight with Jacy Jayne. Why would you do that? I needed to work through some of this anger. Need to get you back on the winning track, Thea. Just try not to throw the towel in this time. Thea? Thea? So, Mr. Chase has sorted a match for Thea against Jacy, but Thea isn't impressed. Here is Dana. Let's go, Dana. Let's go, Dana. Let's go, Dana. Bum, bum, bum. I like Kalani as well. I like Kalani. Thea, heel turn. She's been more assertive, more aggressive. I mean, Dana's been there, got the t-shirt, you know? Let's go. Locking up Dana and Blair. Dana goes back against the ropes. Blair pushes her. Dana pushes back and pushes Blair over. Look underneath, against the ropes. Around the houses, takes Blair over. Looking for a clothesline. Oh, couldn't quite get Blair over the top rope. Dana, crossbody. Blair goes down. Throwing in some shots. Dana just saying a few words there to Kalani. Some of those shots didn't look great from Dana. Dana needs to go down a dark turn. Up top. Double stomp to the back by Blair. 1, 2. Kick out. Kalani applauding as Blair slides in. Looking for a pin. 1, 2. And a kick out again there by Dana. What famous person would you love to meet, said Dean. Oh, that's a good one for the chat. If you could meet a famous person, who would you love to meet? It's a fun question. I genuinely don't know. I mean, my mind goes to wrestlers, first of all. I can't really think of a wrestler that I'm really desperate to meet. I really can't think of a wrestler I'd be desperate to meet. I mean, if Andre was still alive, Andre, 100%. I'd love to meet Andre, but he's dead. Died a long time ago. Bruno Sammartino would also be someone that I would love to meet. But he's dead as well. So, makes it hard, doesn't it? Sit down, powerbomb there by Dana. Kick out. Dana screaming. Trying to get over to Blair. Blair rolls to the outside. Dana is on her feet, going over, sliding under the rope, gets pushed into the ring steps. Dana goes into the ring steps. She gets thrown back into the ring. Blair Davenport looking to get back into the ring. Dana back on her feet, charging over. Big clothesline. Great clothesline by Dana. Dana again screaming out. Rolling back underneath the bottom rope, going to the outside, grabbing a ring bell. A ring bell. Kalani stopping her. Stop it. What are you doing, Kalani? Let her smash her with the ring bell if she wants to. You haven't walked in Dana's shoes. You haven't had the frustration that Dana's had. If she wants to smash someone with a ring bell, let her. This woman had to flipping go months and months and months faffing around with the 24/7 title. If she wants to smash Blair with a bell. Blair has got Dana, but Dana lands on her feet. Roll up there by Dana. 1, 2. Oh, my God. Horrific knee strike. Oh, my God. That knee strike. Oh. She's dead. She's dead. 2, 3, she killed her. Blair just killed Dana Brooke. Oh, my God. She just deaded her. That knee strike was horrific. Oh, my God. I just saw the replay. It's so good. Bam. Tell you what, Dana is looking at Kalani's hand with a snarl. Ah. Here's that Miles giving a bottle of water to Drew Gulak and he just knocks it away. Look at that dirty look, man. Dana, I don't even know how she's doing. It's like Two-Face. Amazing. Dana had to be a doctor with the OC. What the flip is Kalani Jordan doing? I know. Dana has been in WWE way too long to be this sloppy, said AR1. That knee strike rocked her. It rocked me. I felt it. The knee strike was ace, said Gerald. Dana is cute and hot, said Mr. Quake. I saw Undertaker at a bar once, way back in the day. Razor was double fisting 2 Bud Lights, said A.B. Jobson. Hasib said, do you think it'd be sick if Shinsuke did his promo in Japanese and he had someone following him around translating it? I think it would work. I don't know how sick it would be. Because the thing is, if you've got someone that's talking really animated, really passionately, and you don't know what they're saying, when you have to then wait for it to get translated, it sort of loses a bit of its impact. I know that from watching press conferences with UFC, where it happens quite a bit in UFC, where people are talking and they'll be obviously talking very passionately and you're like, okay, what's he saying? And then you have to wait for the translator. And then the translator doesn't put that same level of passion in, and I don't know, it's all a bit, okay. It's a bit jarring, I don't know. I don't know how you would. Don't know how you would do it. I feel like Shinsuke does need to talk in Japanese because I think he can express himself more because he hasn't got to worry about selecting the right words. So he can focus a lot more on the delivery. So it is definitely more beneficial for people to speak in their native tongue. Whether you can then find a way of presenting it in a way that's going to make it impactful, I would say that no one has cracked yet. I reckon there's a way of doing it. But no one seems to have cracked it yet. I wonder if there's a way where, you know, Shinsuke could talk and you get, like, subtitles appear on screen that are, like, you know, Google Translate, just bang, like that, the words on screen, bang. So as quickly as a human brain could listen to it and then verbally relay it, like almost instantly as someone's talking, the what they're saying is on screen. For those that are blind, maybe you could have audio descriptions that then read that out. Don't know. I wonder if that would be more instant, and that way you are getting the impact of what he's saying and you've got the text right there. But then saying that, a lot of people will be like, yeah, but if I've got to sit and read, that's going to take me out of the promo as well. I don't know what the right way forward is with it, but I would agree that them talking in their natural tongue is definitely better than them talking in broken English and having to worry about, am I saying the right words? What are some heels that you think could be great baby faces? I think a lot of heels can be great baby faces. I think there's a lot that can cross over, because I think if you're a heel, you're out for yourself, you're quite selfish, you are just doing what you need to do to win matches. I think then if a baby face that is loved, like say LA Knight, is getting beaten up, let's say LA Knight, who is loved, is being beaten up and we need someone to save him. If Roman had been away for 6 months and all of a sudden his music hits and Roman starts walking down, pulling on his gauntlet, you know, making his way down to the ring, and like the heels stop beating up LA Knight and they look as Roman Reigns is walking down to the ring, people are going to go bananas, man. They're going to go bananas. But I think you could substitute that example of Roman with a lot of different anyone that's a heel that is a credible heel, like Gunther. Gunther would be the exact same. If Gunther was making his way down to the ring to deal with some heels that were beating up on LA Knight, you'd get an amazing reaction. I suppose the heels where it doesn't work as well are those heels like Miz that are they seem a bit weak. Like they don't seem like physically they can, like, you know, go toe to toe with many people. It's just that they cheat a lot and whatever. So I would say anyone that is credible, you know, like how Charlotte is a credible heel. She is athletic. She can go in the ring. How Roman is a credible heel. He is athletic. He can go in the ring. How Brock was a credible heel. He could clearly go in the ring. How Gunther is a credible heel. He can clearly go in the ring. How Asuka right now is a credible heel because she can clearly go in the ring. Any of those heels in the right environment can come down and be babyface and just amazing, brilliant moment. But the ones that struggle would be the ones that don't have that kind of in-ring credibility. You know, if you had Akira Tozawa as a heel and he tried to come down and save a babyface, I don't think it ain't gonna feel the same. It ain't gonna feel the same. Right, we got Trick against Drew right now. Trick against Drew. Trick versus Drew Gulak. We're just seeing where they are going to be. We got Damon Kemp at ringside as well. Damon Kemp and Charlie Dempsey coming out with Drew Gulak. Did you see the lemon shirt on WWE Shop? I did, Wilds. I did. Hope you're well. Owen said, whose game is it, with the whole chat saying Roman Reigns. Apple and Onion fan said, try your best to sing Make 'em Fall by Singing and Dancing by Bad Bunny. I have no idea what that is. I don't know that Bad Bunny song. In fact, I'm quite proud to say I don't know any Bad Bunny song. I know he did one about Booker T. Couldn't tell you how that went. Dropkick coming in. Make 'em Fall makes me think of the NXT song. I'm gonna make you love. That girl. You know that girl that you hear all the time on NXT? I'm gonna make you love. That one. That's not Bad Bunny, is it? She was on the show like some point last year. She was on the show singing the song live in the ring. I'm gonna make 'em fall in love. That one, you know that one. You still hear it now, like they haven't changed that. It's like the official theme of NXT. Don't think it's that we're talking about, is it? Is that like produced by Bad Bunny maybe or something? Translate this. It's Japanese, says William. It says William Hensey smells. Burn. Burn, mate. I burned you. Do you need some cream for that burn? Trick is so charismatic. If he gets in the ring stuff down, he'll be golden, said Gerald. Greggy said, is Gable ever going to get over with the fans with these allegations out there? No, probably not. I mean, unless I think the NXT fans have made their mind up. They've decided he's guilty. Hasn't Kevin Spacey been cleared of like all the stuff that I thought he was done? I thought he was guilty. I thought it was a done. I didn't even realize he hadn't actually been found guilty of anything. But you know, apparently a jury, a court, have listened to the evidence, looked at it, and he's been cleared. But I mean, House of Cards was like done, wasn't it? It was out. It was all. It was all done. I don't know. I don't. Obviously, I wasn't there. I don't know what the truth is in regards to it. But said before, like I'm not comfortable with assuming guilt. So I don't know. I really don't know what it's going to mean for Gable. Trick Williams picks up the victory here. He was always going to win this, Trick, because obviously he's building towards a match with Elia. So Briggs and Jensen took Dempsey and Kemp. I know they call you the man dragon, but next week I'm going to be dragging your ass. Okay, we're backstage with Baron Corbin. Burn the ships! Burn the ships! And we are going to commercial break. Yay! That girl was Ollie J. That's it. I'ma make you fall in love. I don't know the rest of it. I'ma make you fall in love. That That's my point. He needs to be clean enough to be serviceable like LA Knight. Guy's got the charisma down, said Gerald. Burn the ships, said Owen Wrestling. Burn them all. I'm telling people I miss black and gold. That was the shears. What Triple H did. Black and gold brand was short of nothing but a miracle. A miracle. Miracle. It was basically booked by Jesus. Didn't know that. Was accused of criminal sexual assault allegations. Yeah. Yeah, it was serious stuff that he was accused of. Can't believe we didn't get to see the Chocolate Factory this week. Listen, I don't know what you're watching, Wrestle with Andy, but it ain't what I'm watching, mate. I think you've gone on to Babe Station rather than your TNT Sports subscription, right? Easily done. I don't think the channels are actually that far apart in the UK. I think it's like the next one down is like Babe Station. I don't know what Chocolate Factory is. I don't know. You know, 1:45 in the morning here in the UK. But Daze, when and how do you think Judgment Day will break up? Well, I feel like we've got it. They've been teasing this for so long. Can you imagine if they don't break up now? I mean, now I'm sort of questioning, are we just going to bring JD into the group? But I think that this Damian and Finn thing, maybe something to do with the Money in the Bank. Maybe Finn costs Damian his Money in the Bank, and that's it. You know, Damian. Perhaps Finn is like trying to make out they're on the same page, but it's only because mentally he's decided, well, Damian has cost me my title opportunity. I'm going to cost him. So maybe Finn is ready to interrupt Damian's cash in and prevent him from winning. So they're even. And that leads to the split up of the Judgment Day. Mia said it hasn't been 2.0 for about a year. Gerald said, hot take, Gargano Ciampa's rivalry is overrated. First match was fantastic, but the rest was kind of overrated. Oh, yeah, I don't know about all of the rest, but certainly the match they have in that empty warehouse. Didn't think that was it. I didn't think that was very good at all. That was the blow off, I think, as well, actually. I think that's how it all ended. Is Dabba Kato? How you doing, mate? How you doing, buds? Dabba Kato. When I return, he's coming back soon. Returns soon. Burn the ships! Here's Baron Corbin. Burn the ships. Don't know what it means. Great thing about coming out is I can say whatever the hell I want. And I don't have to worry about repercussions. What I say, I mean. So he said he ran Gable out the building. I think the fans did, actually. Soft ass. Little beep. A backstage. Oh, he's firing, man. I'm ushering in a new era. Not of NXT. I don't care about this place. It's a new era for Baron Corbin. Burn the ships. Here's Jonathan Wagner. Bonnie Gargano. Did you just make fun of everyone in the locker room? Because me, Von, and everyone in the world disagree. Harsh words from Mr. Stone there. I disagree with what you've just said. Does insulting people make you feel good? Sometimes. You want to get back to the top? You can. You could. There's one guy standing in your way. And his name is Von Wagner. Von Wagner is standing in your way. He's just getting started. Wait a sec. Why am I talking to you? Can you talk? Give him the microphone. Can you talk? Oh, what if you can't talk? Burn the ships. Burn the ships. Burn the ships! Give him the mic back. It was a bad idea. Listen closely, Von. Yeah. You gotta learn to talk, Von. You want to make it, you gotta learn to talk. On the very first episodes on Fox, I went one-on-one with the great one. I didn't step back. I stepped up. Got a very long career of standing in the background. Sink or swim, Von. Sink or swim. Maybe I've not talked a lot, but maybe you just talk too much. You talk too much. You come out here week after week. It's the same old sub story. JD Manomana has joined Judgment Day. Then when the show ends, they break up, said Smurfy Tunes. Manomana. Bum-ass Corbin. I don't even remember your other 8 gimmicks because they all sucked. He's got a table for one. It's not really a thing to brag about, is it? I've got a table for one because I'm on my own and I'm actually a little bit lonely. I've also got a microwavable meal. Corbin on the outside. Von smashing Corbin into the commentary table. Is he going to plant him through the commentary table? Robert Stone likes it. Table is being stripped. Here we go. Oh, he gets driven into the side of the ring, loser. What a loser. Not bad, Von, said Gerald. Mitchell said, good little segment. Made official. These two are going to go next week. Von is going crazy right now, said Not Zay. Let them fight. Let them fight. Let them fight. Let them fight. Oh, hello, mummy. Tommy. As for Lyra, you kick mummy in the face. Dom, how do you feel about dropping in on Heatwave? Oh. Challenge is set. So Dragon and Lyra are going to be having to work as a team next week. So Rhea and Dominic challenge Lyra and Dragon Lee to a mixed tag match next week. I feel like, is that the first time that we're going to have seen Rhea and Dom as a mixed tag team? I don't know if I've actually seen them in a mixed tag match before. Here's Wesley making his way down. That feels like a little video. There'll be people that want to know that. That's interesting news. That's breaking news. Wesley, Dijak coming up after the break. Wrestle with Andy said we need Bubba, Ray, and Von Wagner in one of those Spider-Man memes telling each other to get the tables. Love it. Love it. I love it. Right, mate. It's true. Daze, was King Corbin the worst King of the Ring? Perhaps King Mabel was worse. Yeah. Do you know what, though? I think Mabel was worse. The only thing I would say about King Corbin is he did have a pretty sick robe, and he really did go for it. Sometimes when people are king, they don't really do much with it. Bret Hart didn't do anything with it, did he? He didn't. He was never King Bret Hart. And, I mean, you could make an argument that Bret Hart was the worst King of the Ring because he did nothing with it. He didn't wear a crown. He didn't wear the cape. He never used the name. So what was the point in being King of the Ring if you're never going to be acknowledged as king? So in a roundabout way, you could make an argument that Bret winning it was great, but what did he do with it? He did nothing with it. So does that mean that Bret's the worst? Just throwing it out there. It's going to be Owen Hart might be the best because he became the King of Hearts and he loved it. He rocked it, and he rocked it hard, man. I know Stone Cold didn't do anything with it, but at least on the platform, we got the Austin 316 promo, didn't we? So I know he didn't become King Stone Cold, but at least he gave us the Austin 316 promo. At least we got that out of it. Right, let's do a quick video. Breaking news coming out of NXT, and obviously it involves Dirty Dom and Mammy Rhea Ripley. They have just issued a challenge. And what's quite exciting about this is I really thought that we were going to get Rhea Ripley against Lyra Valkyria because Lyra kicked Rhea in the face last week. So certainly felt like we were building to a match. That's not quite what we're getting. I think I'm right in saying we are about to get the first mixed tag match involving Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio. Certainly, I can't recall right now seeing Rhea and Dominic as a mixed tag team. Maybe it's happened, but I certainly can't recall it. But they're going to be in action next week on NXT, taking on Lyra Valkyria and Dragon Lee. So they said, I hope you guys can work together as a team. So we're going to be seeing Dirty Dom and Rhea teaming up together. So that's pretty exciting. I really like it. that's a decent announcement and a good addition to next week's NXT. Next week's show is Heatwave, which is one of those kind of special episodes. It's still on a Tuesday at its usual time slot, but it is a special episode. So, yeah, that's going to be something to look forward to. Right, we've got Mustafa Ali making his announcement. What is Mustafa Ali about to say? I speak of the former champ. I speak of the current champ. Dominic spits in the face of family values. He had a gimmick like this before, didn't he? Or at least he was trying to get a gimmick. People of North America deserve better. I'm the North American champion we need. I can take it to unparalleled heights. I like this. We're seeing kids on their iPads watching as this speech is played out. Open your ears. Raise your heads. The time for a new North American champion is now. You will take my hand. In Ali, you can trust. Wow. This message is approved by the North American champion. Or future North American champion. In Ali, you can trust. I have seen, I don't know if he actually did this gimmick or if he was trying to do this gimmick and it bombed. Like, you know, they tried it and did videos that they never quite aired. But I have definitely seen Ali doing this gimmick before. In Ali, you can trust. That was quite big, wasn't it? That feels quite significant. Mustafa Ali addressed the NXT universe, saying he wanted to be North American champion, and in Ali, you can trust. This party political broadcast was brought to you by... I liked it. I love Mustafa Ali promo. What is happening, said Gerald. That was sick. Right, we've got Dijak making his way. Ali once revealed he wanted TK to pull off those types of video package, but got a no from WWE. I have seen it. I don't know if he filmed it and said, this is what I wanted to do and put it out on his social media. I have seen Ali do a promo like that before. And it could be that. It could be that he wanted to do them and WWE said no, but he still recorded one and put it out on his social media. I have seen that before. Not that exact one, but if it is something that he wanted to do in the past, that's a fun little... It's a fun little side note, isn't it? That now seemingly he's been given the opportunity to do something he wasn't allowed to do in the past. Mitchell said, make America Ali again. Emma. It's not MAGA. It's Ma. I prefer that, to be honest. Nah. Let's go. Make America Ali again. Make Ali America again. Did you do halftime? No, we didn't. We was busy little bees. Next, NXT halftime is 10 out of 10 because Tommy Toy Travels was in the chat when I came in, says William. Good enough for me. The good enough reason for me. Low-key, they could mess around and do a double turn with a gimmick like this, said Gerald's. Who do you think is winning Feud of the Year, Mustafa Ali or Human Resources? Mustafa Ali. I think he's living his best life. I think Trick will become the #1 contender, said Kim. Mello will beat him. Trick will turn heel on Mello. Trick will beat Mello for the title, and Mello goes to the main roster. John Elite, shout out to you. How do you think JD Judgment Day plays out? Does he just join them, or does he join them and kick out Finn like they did with Edge? I mean, like, it seems like him and Finn are on the same page at the moment, doesn't it? So, unless there's going to be one of them swervy swerves, it could be that Finn tries to get JD in the group, but ultimately I think Finn and JD leave. I could see him and JD working together and being... I think I could see the next stage of Finn being he is now used to get JD settled onto the roster. And I think that's something that Finn would be quite happy to do because he'll want to make sure that someone like JD is set up and is in a good place and can... you know, hold his own. He's a former student of Finn's, so I think that would be something that he would be quite into, showing him the ropes and helping him find his feet. So I could see them two staying together for quite a while. But it might be that Finn tries to get JD into Judgment Day. It doesn't quite work. There's a rift. JD and Finn then leave. Or it might be that JD never joins Judgment Day and it's just Finn leaves with Judgment Day and we get these rival groups. I mean, it certainly feels like Damian and Finn are on a collision course at some point. There's too many things that are happening for them to just be okay. I mean, even last night on Raw with the briefcase coming in, going between his legs, it feels like they're on a collision course, so... Time-wise, how it plays out, I'm not sure, but I feel pretty good about Finn and JD being on one side. Damian, Dom, Rhea, someone else will come in, being on the other side. I really like Lyra coming up. That was put in the chat the other day. Bring up Lyra, put Lyra with Finn and JD, because at the moment Lyra and Rhea are in a little feuds. But I don't know. I mean, like, Lyra spent a bit of time in NXT UK. Like, I don't think she needs a long time in NXT. I mean, Piper Niven didn't spend hardly any time in NXT. Same with Gunther. Gunther didn't spend long in NXT. They cut their teeth in NXT UK. Did a lot of their learning over there. I feel the same about Lyra. So, Lyra, I think they see big things for her. Right, yeah, get in your scores. We have just gone to commercial break, so... Halftime scores, everybody, it's the halftime scores. I really want to know your halftime scores. Put it in the chat. Halftime scores, everybody, it's the halftime scores. Are you happy? It's the halftime scores. Are you happy or you sad? Halftime scores, everybody, it's the halftime scores. I should get that recorded. If I got it recorded, I could just press play then. Just sit here like this. Right, there we go. I'm going to go 7.5. It's been fun. What about you? Maybe a little low, 6.75, 6.5, 6.75. I'm probably around there. I don't know that there's really been anything essential. I'm just trying to think, is there anything you needed to see? I can't say that I've really been close to making a video other than that one announcement, which I think is quite interesting, but I don't know if people are going to be that bothered. But I think it's news, isn't it, that Rhea and Dominic are teaming up next week. There'll be plenty of people on the main roster that would like to see them two as a tag team, even if it's just one-off mixed tag match thing. But really, outside of that, I don't know that there's really been anything that's been... I mean, like, if the show ends now, I haven't got any sort of reaction video or anything to make, so I don't know. I sort of think that we're around that kind of middle of the pack mark, which for me now is around that kind of 6.5 range. So I'm sort of around there. It's been solid. It's been fine. There's been a few good things. Been a few bits that have been a bit, yeah. I don't know. It's just okay. All right. It's worth watching. Yeah. Let's doing it. I mean, to be honest, it's 2:10 in the morning. If I wasn't watching this, I might be in bed. So it's better than being in bed. Let's put it that way. Is it better than being in bed? Yeah, it's better than being in bed. Nicole said 6.75, 6.26. Big Time said, I think it's been a solid 7.75. Marty said 6. Wrestling Stats said 5.5. It's a missable episode. Jordan said 6. Kieran said 6. Erase Your Mind said 6.5. Infinity TV said 6.25. Daze looks like Dragon Lee and Bird Lady versus Dom and Rhea for Heatwave. Let's go. Love Bird Lady. Big fan of Bird Lady. Braun is a bad boy. Shades of 2.0, says Mr. Quake. Jayne with a 7. Okay, we are back from our commercial break. Wesley throwing in a few shots. Dijak putting in a big kick, but Wesley catching him. And that is some real power there by Wesley. These two had a real banging match at Stand and Deliver, was it? It was one of the pay-per-views earlier this year. One of the premium live events. Look at that. That was great power. Double knees as well there by Wes. NXT. Who is heading to Heatwave? Who is going to be facing Carmelo Hayes? I feel like we need to put another poll. See what people are saying. Who wins? Dijak. Wesley. Who wins? Who's going to Heatwave? Dijak's got Wesley up, but he can't do anything with him. Wesley with a big boot. Dijak goes down. Winner of this is going to be going on to face Carmelo. I don't really think that either of these guys are going to beat Carmelo, though. He's trying to pick up Wesley. Plant him down, and he did it with just one leg. Shoulder up by Wesley. People getting their votes in. People voting away. Big Time said, I don't know why, but a 6 feels like a down number. I get where you're coming from. It's supposed to be average, mix, good, bads, but maybe seeing a lack of 1, 2, 4 out of 10. Maybe it's just seeing a lack of 1, 2, 4 out of 10. Don't know what does that mean? A lack of 1 to 4 out of 10. Don't know what I mean. Yeah, six is for me is, we spoke about this the other day, like if a show is okay, why would that be a 7? Why is okay a 7? Like, that's good. That's really good. Good would be a 7. Really, really good would be like 7.75. I mean, surely when you get into 8s, you get into like great, 9, amazing, 10 is like all-time episode. So, like, if it shows, yeah, there's a mixture of good and bad in it. I don't know why that would be a 7. I think there's some good here. I think there's some bad, well, not bad, but just a bit stuff. Is there anything essential here? You know, I just think it's a pretty average episode. I feel like I could watch this episode every week and it's just average. There's just not really anything exceptional here. It's solid. It's fine. So for me, that puts it in the 6s. But this is where everyone's scale is a bit different. You know, some people's average, okay, might be in the 7s. Some people might have it in the 5s. An average show for someone might be 5 out of 10. This is where, like we've said before, I don't think we're all working on the same scale. Wesley going up. Comes crashing down and he lands on Dijak. Eddie Thorpe had come out and it is Wesley that gets the win. So Eddie Thorpe had come out and that distraction allowed Wesley to get the momentum, pick up the victory, and it will be Carmelo against Wes Lee next week. That is the turning point. That was the turning point. So Wesley beats Dijak. So Wes faces Carmelo next week. Got the graphic on screen. NXT Heatwave. Backstage, there's Lyra, Bird Woman, Bird Girl. If it wasn't for Mummy, I would be North American champion. I'll kick her so hard that Dom feels it. We need to be like that. I'm taken, says Dragon Lee. We don't know anything about each other. He was born for greatness. This is like a real awkward... Hippo. I don't think Lyra does the comedy side of things as good. Here's Tyler Bate. NXT Anonymous. We got Gallus. Gallus confronting Tyler. Where's Tyler here? Is that like an NXT show, do you reckon? Yeah. He's with the NXT universe, apparently. So there was a little bit of drama going on at an NXT show. They should do that more often. Use the NXT house shows to have incidents that then play out on the broadcast. They could do that more often. I don't know about this finding balance and serenity stuff. Don't know. Don't know, Tyler. Tyler, I don't know, mate. I don't know. I don't know if that's what you should be faffing around with. Right, Tyler Bate facing Joe Coffey. Big Time said, is it me or does Tiffany feel like the weakest NXT Women's Champion we've had in a long time? Still feels she's developing. The title feels a bit big for her. I would agree with that. I think she felt like she was ready, but don't really know until you're in that position. I would say that she the title is big for her at the moment, but I think she'll grow into it. I think what's really showing up is her live in-ring promos are very lacking. Very lacking. Thoughts on Lacey confirming her exit on Instagram? I haven't seen this news. I mean, if she has gone, I don't think it's the most surprising because she hadn't been used. But I've not seen anything. Hot take, Sammy in the Bloodline is way more entertaining than the current Sammy. Well, he hadn't been given anything to do, had he? I mean, it's hard for him to be entertaining when we've pushed him to the side and pushed him into a flipping tag division, which people were telling me was going to be great for him, which clearly wasn't going to be great for him and hasn't been great for him. Got in the way of Cody, didn't he? Got in the way of Cody. I'll have that. Yeah, I feel really sorry for him, you know. I feel sorry for him because he's shown how great he is. He's shown how great he is. He's shown what he's capable of doing. And then they've just gone and pushed him to somewhere that's just not important, that doesn't have any story going on for him. And it's just hard now, isn't it? Right. Logan said, what do you think is going to be the main event tonight? I don't think what else we've not had. We've had Trick. We've had Trick, haven't we? We've had Trick. We've had Wes and Dijak. It's a good question, actually. All the announced matches we've had. There was 4 matches that they were promoting for tonight, which was Wesley and Dijak. It was the tag title match. It was Trick against Drew. And it was Dana against Blair. And we've had all those matches. So, and now we've got Tyler Bate against Joe Coffey. That is also a match that's been announced in advance. So I think we've had all the announced matches. Makes me question. I mean, I just think, right, what are we doing with Carmelo? So Carmelo's the champ. We haven't really seen him on the show. He's got a title match next week. He's now found out who his opponent is. So could it be that the show ends with not a match, but with Carmelo coming out, just talking about his title defense next week, and then Wesley can now come out, confrontation, builds up the big match for next week. And maybe it doesn't end with a match, but it ends with a segment like that. Because this is the go home, isn't it, to next week's match? Or next week's Heat Wave. So maybe we're just going to end instead with something like that. But all the announced matches we've had. Wasn't Tyler Bate part of Mustache Mountain? Yep. Wrestling Stats said, do you think it's time to vacate and split the tag titles due to Kevin and Sammy's injuries? I think it has to be defended within a 30-day period. That's my feeling on it. We have just seen, though, that Chelsea has changed partner. So the question should be asked, well, if Piper Niven can come in for an injured Sonya, why can't Sammy go and recruit someone to replace Kevin? Why can't he do that? Because we've got a precedent there, haven't we? Why can't you do that? Chelsea's done it. So why can't Sammy do it? Sammy competed on Raw, so he's back, he's cleared, he can go. So I don't think I would explore that now. I would explore that. Because if Sammy has to vacate it, rightfully, people will ask the question, well, why did Chelsea not, and why did Sammy have to? And people are already asking, why did Raquel have to? I think the counter argument to that is she didn't have to. I think had she have proposed, can I find a new partner, or had stood her ground a little more than she did, I think there's a chance that she could still be champ now. Here's Wesley. He's come out of Shawn Michaels' office. He's got the contracts. He's got the contract. He's come out of the office. Right, we've got 35 minutes to go. 35 minutes left of this week's NXT. Joe Coffey taking on Tyler Bates. Lancel said, is Edge Jeff Hardy the best match? Mine was the world title ladder match. Imagine they faced one final time. Edge's 25th anniversary. That would be nice. It's not happening though, is it? They're in different companies, but I think Jeff's past it as well. I mean, I've seen a bit of the Hardys, few Hardy matches in recent weeks, and they look done to me. There comes a point where your body just really starts to slow, and everything looks a lot more labored than it did before. And I don't know, maybe he was doing that in WWE and I just wasn't seeing it, but looking at what I have seen from him in AEW recently, seems to be that things have caught up with him now. So I don't know, I think, you know, it's hard in it when there's been a great rivalry and great matches and everything, you want that to continue, but as we saw with Undertaker, it just can't. That it catches up with everyone at some point. Do you think WWE will bring back Trent Seven? He could rekindle the Tyler Bate feud, says Kim. I'd love it if they did. Yeah, I mean, I don't really understand why we got rid of him. I don't know if he was causing any issues behind the scenes or if he was very opinionated, or I really don't know. But I think age-wise, he was sort of getting on a little bit. He was no LA Knight, like 40, or I only say LA Knight because you really don't see people of that age coming into WWE at that point of their career, you know? It's very unusual. Because normally you see, like, you know, the next in line youngsters that didn't quite make it as gymnasts or American football players or whatever it might have been. You see them coming in at that point and then getting trained so they can be superstars for the next 20 years. It's very unusual to see someone coming in so late in their career. And I believe Trent Seven was like late 30s. Which is, you know, that's, you know, your best years are behind you, really. I mean, you're sort of in your prime, if you will, at that point. But I think by the time you're starting to get to, like, I don't know, 45, 46, you know, this is where injuries can really start to catch up with you. It's really where things can spiral a bit. So I don't know if it was an age thing or an attitude thing, or I don't know. I really don't know. I always thought he was great. I always really liked him. And I think he brought the best and helped bring the best out of Tyler. Tyler's having to now really try and go it on his own. And I'm just not sold on the gimmick they've got for Tyler. This meditation and all that, I think it is an extension of who he is. I think he is that person. I think he is into, like, being vegan and looking after yourself mentally, and which is fine, but just don't know that that makes for a great professional wrestling character. The ultimate vegan. So, yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. I like Tyler Bate. I like him a lot. I think watching him over the years has been a real treat since he came in 2017 and watching his career unfolds. I mean, he won the title, that NXT UK or UK Championship. I think he won it when he was like 19. Seemed like such a prospect. And he still is. I mean, he's still young now. I think even now he's still only like in his mid-20s. So he's still got plenty of like time, but I just don't know if we've took the right turn with him, with like this meditation and all that. Lands on his feet, goes against the ropes, looks for a clothesline. I think there is some truth. I think there's some truth in people watching wrestling and seeing superstars that they wish they were. So, you know, when you're looking at Stone Cold's, Dabba-Kato with a big boot, wipes out Tyler. Dabba-Kato arrives. Dabba-Kato said that he was returning soon. Real soon. He grabs Tyler Bate. Tyler Bate trying to break out of this, but gets planted down. Dabba-Kato attacks. Both guys are attacked, so I'm guessing this is a no contest. He did it. I mean, he went after Coffee, and he went out after Tyler. Here's Baron. Burn the ships. Burn the ships! I say how it is. At least Von had the balls to come out and say something. Here's Brom. I'm not finished with Von yet. You looked pretty finished with him. Good luck next week. I'll be watching. I know you intimidate everyone here. I'm not everyone. Nathan Frazier, hard-hitting home truths coming up next. Trent's 41, says Logan. Yeah, I mean, maybe that played a part. Maybe it played a part. Perhaps they had to make a call as to who they wanted to progress with. So, Dabba-Kato wipes out Tyler Bate and Joe Coffey. I got one more question. How long do you think Shelton Benjamin will keep wrestling? He looks and moves like he's younger, but is 48. Well, I don't think it'll be long. I don't think WWE will want it to be long, to be honest. So, next couple of years. Probably by 2025, we're done. I mean, even though he's moving good, I mean, I think they'll transition him maybe to like a producer role or a training role or something like that. I mean, it might not be that he gets cut and he's done. I think he's someone they like having around. I think they've got time and respect for him, and I'm sure they can find somewhere in the organization for him. But actually competing wise, I mean, I feel like we're pretty much done. They ain't got anything for him, and they haven't had anything for him for a long, long time. I sort of feel like the shades of Robert Roode, didn't there? Didn't have anything for him. I mean, think about that. Bobby Roode was NXT champion. Went up to the main roster, got put in a tag team with Chad Gable, did the whole glorious stuff, and they tried to get him over as a team. Then they put him with Dolph, and they did the whole Dirty Dogs. Tried to do something there. And, I mean, it just... injuries got in the way, of course, but they will when you get to that stage of your career. And, I mean, that's it. It's done. Producing now, backstage. I sort of think the same may happen with Shelton. Yes. Ron tells Corbin he'll be watching this week. Right. That is awesome. Bron Breakker has to always have promos in the parking lot, says Kim. Justin said, my opinion, I think NXT is better than Raw this week. Godfather's Ho, shout out to you. Oliver Humperdinck was a professional wrestling manager, an occasional professional wrestler, very high. Godfather's Ho, shout out to you. Kashawn said, do you think Austin Theory can work as babyface instead of genetic heel? I still think he's got untapped potential. He has got untapped potential, and he absolutely can be babyface. We saw him as like doing a babyface stuff down in NXT. He's been babyface before, so it's certainly not out of the rules, not out of the realms of possibility for him. So yes, I think he can be babyface. I just think it comes down to creative. I really do. I think that with someone like Austin Theory, I don't think he is at the point of his career. What we've learned from him is that if you put him in there with a really good opponent, like, say, AJ Styles, you're going to get a really good match. Mainly because AJ can get a good match out of anyone. But Austin Theory is not a ring general who is going to be able to go in there with some NXT talent and get a you know, an incredible match out of them. He doesn't have that ability. Same with his promos as well. You know, he can get by. I feel like he's a solid wrestler, solid promo, but he's not someone, and he can be great as long as the dancing partner he's got is great. He needs to work on being the AJ, being the Roman, being the ring general. He needs to work on that, where he leads the dance. So there is absolute untapped potential, but he's still so young. Right, we are seeing took a few negotiations, Nathan Frazier says, for him to say his version of the cup is not real. Oh, hello. Noam Dar interrupting. Supernova sessions. I knew you'd pull something like this, says Nathan Frazier. I'm still the champ. Most reigns, longest reigns. We only deal with facts. Oh. Normality will resume next week. You did not beat me. Why is Nathan Frazier so bland with his delivery? Doesn't have much in the way of inflection with the way that he delivers. Everything seems in the same tone. I really like Noam Dar, though. I think his delivery is really good. Okay, so we are just seeing these two exchanging a few words. That was a bit strange, what with Tyler just handing the cup back, but Nathan did say, I owe you one. Technically, Frazier never beat Dar. Tyler should be Heritage Cup champ instead, says AB Jobson. This is a pretty painful segment, man. This is pretty painful. Enjoy yourself, you thief. Technically, we read that. Steven, congrats. You have to let us know how it goes, dudes. Okay, so Noam and Nathan exchange a few words. Here we go. We've got the graphic. It's happening next week at Heatwave NXT Heritage Cup match. Nathan Frazier versus Noam Dar. Here's Jacy Jayne making her way out. Jacy Jayne against Thea Hale. It's going to be our main event. Jacy Jayne is making her way down to the ring then. Jacy Jayne. At least they can wrestle. Yeah. What if Mr. Chase throws the towel in again? What if Duke Hudson throws the towel in again? What if they both throw towels in again? What if everyone throws the towel in? Here's Thea then. Chase you. Thea making her way down to the ring. Oh my God, she's super focused. Throws the megaphone to one side. She is not happy. Jacy Jayne looking on, feeling a bit sorry for Thea. Thea pacing around. Bell has gone, and these two circling around, locking up. Knee to the midsection. Cheap wave. The fraud button. This segment isn't doing it for me. Duck underneath there by Thea. Round the houses. Arm drag by Thea. Take over. Over goes Jacy. Duck underneath against the ropes. On her feet. Against the ropes goes Thea. Through the ropes. Down goes Jacy. Then we're going to another commercial break, are we? There's why has he even got that towel? Put the towel. Don't even hold the towel. Mr. Chase, don't even hold the towel. Jericho is still in great shape and moves great, but at 53 in November, when is it time to move into a new role rather than looking like someone that just can't let it go? Well, he's a bit of a mixed bag, isn't he? I mean, there was plenty of people saying that he wasn't in great shape not long ago and that he was past his prime. I think he's worked very hard to try and get back into a shape to then put on some matches, but even his recent matches have been getting mixed reactions. I mean, the Jericho we're seeing now is not the Jericho of old, but you wouldn't expect it to be. So I don't know. I think he's doing everything he can because of his name value to just stick around. And I think he loves it. And I think he is someone that can't give it up. But it's different for him because WWE doesn't need Edge to stick around. WWE is absolutely fine if Edge wants to call it quits this Friday or not, right? It's fine. WWE will go on as they are. With AEW, I think that Jericho is one of their biggest names. Like, they will still go on, of course they will. But it will be more of a hit to them to lose Jericho than it will for WWE to lose one of their veterans, you know? So I think that he's going on because he wants to and he loves it. And, you know, he's someone that loves being in front of the fans. I mean, he's got a band as well so that he can play in front of fans and make music and whatever. And he loves wrestling and being in front of people. I think he just loves that attention, which is fine. I mean, that's why people do all sorts of things. So I think that there is a truth in him struggling to let it go, just like Ric Flair does. But I also think there's maybe a truth in that if this was WWE, he could maybe start thinking about the right way to go. Whereas I think with AEW, he can just see lots of people that I think he feels he can elevate. There's a school of thought that Jericho just goes where the attention is. So, you know, if Ricky Starks is getting some attention, Jericho will go and work a program with Ricky Starks so that he can get that shine. And then if someone else like Powerhouse Hobbs gets over, then he'll go to Powerhouse Hobbs and work with them so that he can get that shine. And there's that consensus out there that that's what Jericho does. And maybe it is. I don't know. I can't see into his brain. But I do also think there's a chance that what he's doing, what with being super experienced, having worked in, you know, WCW, WWE, and being around in the Attitude Era and having all this experience, is he can see these youngsters that are, you know, made a bit of a name for themselves, that need that program with an established name to maybe take that next step. And he is one of those established names. So there's potentially some truth in that he's trying to work with people to get their shine. But I think there's also some truth that he's trying to be that next step for people as well, because he is that next step for people. So it's a tricky one, isn't it? It's a tricky one because he's got to weigh up when's the right time for him and also what he brings to a company like AEW. And it honestly might be that AEW have to make that call before Jericho's willing to make that call. Jericho could be like Ric Flair and never want to actually call it a quits. Or maybe it's going to have to get to the point where his health is deteriorating and the injuries are just stacking up. Maybe if that starts happening and his body starts breaking down, then we'll start to see him having to make that decision. But you can't say, oh, it's going to be next month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. There's no way of knowing, is there? I saw AR-Dub Pro Indiana Wrestling this past Saturday at the American Legion Post 100 in Lake Station, Indiana. Carmen Live, shout out to you. He didn't get Action Andretti over, said Travis. Well, he did, because didn't Andretti beat him? And there was a real buzz around Action Andretti. I don't know that it was Jericho's fault. The problem was they didn't follow up with it. I mean, that match was done perfectly. I don't think you would go back and change the Action Andretti Jericho. It was Jericho you beat, wasn't it? I don't think if you was booking that you would go back and change it. It was a kid who we'd never seen, who was a jobber. I'd never seen him before. Or if he had been around before, he'd only just been there to take L's. And I can remember doing the watch along going, imagine if this kid wins. And it felt like a moment. It really felt like a moment. I don't know that I can be down on Jericho for that, because I think that initial match is perfect, is how you would want it to go. I don't think they capitalize on it the following weeks. I don't even know if we saw him the following. Wasn't there something really stupid that they did with Action Andretti? There was something really stupid. And I can't remember off the top of my head what it is. But there was some, I was like, I remember the next week or 2 weeks later going, hang on. So you have a kid get an upset victory, and then the next week you do blah, blah, blah. And I remember that the follow-up was just, the booking was atrocious. It was rubbish. To be honest, that I point the finger at Tony Khan. I point the finger at Tony Khan or whoever's booking the flipping show, because I don't think you understood how to book someone that's just got an upset win. Jacy Jayne looking for the pin there on Thea, but Thea kicks out. How long have we got? 11 minutes. I didn't realize it was that close to the end, to be honest. 11 minutes. They got 64-year-old Sting jumping off a ladder and breaking his front teeth. You know, however you get your kicks, whatever you enjoy watching in it. Kicks coming in there by Jacy. Thea on one knee, getting up to her feet. Jacy. Oh, what's he doing? What are you doing? She's screaming at him. What are you doing? So the turnbuckle. Oh, she gets caught. That's her own fault. So the turnbuckle pad had come off. The turnbuckle pad had come off. Andre Chase fixes it. Get away. She walks. Oh, she is livid. I'm really good at reading women's body language. What's that? Umberto Garza. Yeah, this was great, man. This was great. Last week, this video package was awesome. When we are on top of the world, we have family. When life knocks us down, we still have family. The kiss cam. Are we chasing women or are we chasing glory? Women, women, women. Really good. Time has come. No more games. No more distractions. Tear away your past for a new beginning. I could so get behind Los Lotharios if they're going to be like killers now. Inspired by their grandfather. Great picture as well. Love it. Sign me up, baby. Sign me up. Contracts. Wesley slams it down in front of Carmelo. Carmelo said, I'll see you next Tuesday. Has he signed it? He ain't even signed it. Loser. Pictures have gone off the table. Wes said he isn't waiting. Oh, that's a bit harsh, isn't it? Knocking the table down. See you out there, champ. Oh, he's dragging the table. Ah, oh, that's sick. I mean, I'm sure there's normally a table under the ring, in all fairness. You don't need to go to those lengths to bring out his own table. He's dragging a table out. Here's Wesley making his way down to the ring with a table. Contract signing. Yeah. Gonna happen next. Always thought Angel Garza and Berta were on the main roster. Didn't know they were on NXT now, said Carmen. They are, yes. Yes. So Thea, very upset. They should have put the US title on Chad Gable, says Inside Out and again. He's got the table disguising gimmick infringement from Von Wagner. Mitchell said, I missed your last AEW stream. What was your score? Don't know. I remember being down on it compared to the week before. What did you enjoy the RVD and Cole MJF segments? RVD, I think, was fine. Cole and MJF. I thought the trampoline part was stupid. Trampoline part I thought was stupid. I think they're really making Adam Cole look like an idiot. I think they're really making him look like an idiot. I think him going to a trampoline park and being all like excited about being at trampoline park like a 12-year-old child would. I was making this comment earlier. I really think with wrestling, a lot of people look at wrestlers and they are aspirational, like you aspire to be them. That's why Hogan, when he was jacked up full of steroids, like, you know, absolutely ripped to shreds, talking about his country and everything, you could look at him and go, yeah, you like that. Or the Ultimate Warrior, shredded, you know. Or maybe even Bret Hart, who was a good-looking guy and just fantastic at being a wrestler. Or think about John Cena. Or think about Roman Reigns, right? Or think about how cool, like, Bianca Belair is. Like, I think that this is why when we talk about great wrestlers, we talk about wrestling ability, we talk about promos, and we do talk about something else, and that is the look. The look is really important. Like, this is why a lot of the women are super attractive, right? Because that helps the look. And this is why a lot of the guys are jacked and do a lot of working out, because it helps their look. And I think for Adam Cole, he gets criticized for his look, being a smaller guy and maybe not having much definition body-wise. So straight away he's on the back foot. I think then having his personality be that of a 12-year-old child who's going to get excited, overly excited about going to a trampoline park, I just think you're killing him. Just think you're killing him. I didn't think it was a good look at all. And then, like, the way they tried to bring it round was by having MJF throw dodgeballs at kids for a bit of humor, which for me is what the AEW champion doing that. The AEW champion is going to be throwing. Could you imagine John Cena or Roman Reigns throwing dodgeballs at children? I don't understand. I don't get it. If you want to do that kind of silly comedy stuff, then wouldn't you do it with the Acclaimed? Or wouldn't you do it with someone like Danhausen? Like, isn't that what they're there for? Wouldn't you do Danhausen and Orange Cassidy? Make sense as to that kind of a vignette. Not Adam Cole and MJF, but I don't know. It didn't do it for me. People seem to like it, though. People seem to like it. I think people, to be honest, I think people just really like the MJF Adam Cole relationship. I think they're into that. And it is showing in the ratings that people like this dynamic, this relationship. So I think they're just like not really questioning it, just going with it. Just, yeah, you know, this is good. We're doing some, and they're just going with it, but didn't do it for me. I didn't find it funny. I think we're doing it with the wrong people. I think that Adam Cole's looking like an idiot. I think that MJF as AEW champion, going around throwing dodgeballs at kids, is the kind of thing I'd expect out of Breezango, or I'd expect it out of Danhausen, or I'd expect it out of Orange Cassidy. I wouldn't really expect it out of the AEW World Champion. So, yeah, I wasn't crazy about it, to be honest. I wasn't really crazy about that episode. I remember now that the big takeaway was that it was a big come down from the week before. But the week before was the 200th episode, you know? As I said, you know, it's a mixed bag. There's plenty of people that really enjoy what they're doing with Adam Cole and MJF at the moment. We are back from commercial break, and we are just running down the Heatwave cards. Carmelo, Wesley, contract signing coming up. Time is it? Right, about to go into Overrun. Adam Cole in NXT and Adam Cole in AEW are two different personalities, says Kashorm. I think they're trying hard to catch fire with Cole MJF stuff. I hope they can find something that can create intrigue. I think they have got something there clearly, because it shows in the ratings that people are enjoying this relationship. I think they've done some good stuff with it as well. I'm only saying about the trampoline part. I just thought that was a miss. I saw plenty of people that enjoyed it. Right, here we go. Carmelo and Wes. Yeah, there's perks to having this championship, but along with perks come responsibility. Did you carry that North American title with prestige and honor the same way I did? Yes. You start to take a few L's, you start to face a little bit of adversity, and you start to fold. Next week is your shot to take this title. And I'm not convinced that you can be him. When you first got here, you was one of the chosen ones. But that wasn't the same for me. What have I missed? Oh, quite a bit, buds. I'll have the recap up, hopefully about an hour after. Two-time tag team partner. He became a two-time tag team partner? He spoke about losing his tag partner and how he's constantly been told, you can't do this, you can't do that. But I became the North American champ. I became the greatest North American champion in history, and that hasn't gone down well with Carmelo. Who did I take that championship off? You didn't beat me. Yeah, wasn't it Solo? Solo beat Carmelo, didn't he? And then he had to vacate it, and then I think Wes ended up winning it. These two are going at it, man, and they're goods. They're doing goods. Feel you. Next week at Heatwave. You can't beat me. Do you know how many years I've turned doubters into believers? Carmelo never seems to be happy about anything, said John. Contract is signed by Wes. Now sign the damn contract. What if he says no and walks off? Gladly. Everyone knows that you have earned this. Let me tell you one thing. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Just say the rivers and the lakes that you used to. I know that you're gonna have it away. Oh. Let's go, man. There's not enough TLC quoted, is there, in wrestling? He's going to do Creep next. That is a jam, man. Do you know, I've not heard that song in years. That used to be on all the time on the... He broke the table for? You done that for? Wesley jumps up, stomps on the table breaks. He said, I'll see you at Heatwave. You done that for? Who is Jason Waterfalls? Why does someone want to chase him? Said John. Good question. Never found out. It's one of life's great unknowns. He broke the breakaway table, said Kieran. Deadly. Deadly. Not Wesley. Deadly. Right, let's go and put the poll up. Poll up. Hey. Don't go chasing waterfall. I've got that in my head now. God, that's the only thing I've took away from that flipping promo. Right, let's put the poll up, see what people thought of this week's show. I can tell you we had 1,500 votes for yesterday's Raw. 57% of people said it was good. 57% of people said it was good. So it got 3 out of 5. Let's see what people thought of this week's NXT poll. What did you score this week's NXT? So, was it all time? All time. Was it great? Was it good? Was it okay? Or was it bad, in the words of Michael Jackson? Was it dangerous? Boom. Right. Have Wes try that with a non-particle board table. Let's go. Will Premier League games be returning to the streams? No. Serious Gaming said, probably the best promo Wesley has done in his run in NXT. I think that's fair. I think there was some really good stuff that he put in there. I recommend the Arlington in New Jersey, says WWE AEW fan. John said, where do we go to vote? It is on the community tab on the homepage. It's a little out the way compared to where we are from a stream point of view, but you can jump in as soon as we wrap this baby up. It's getting cold. We need to wrap this baby up. Imagine Rhonda appears at All In, said Big Time Baxter. She could, couldn't she? Probably just get booed, though, again, out the building. Joking, 6, says Nicole. I give NXT tonight an 8, said Carmen Live. Decent show, 7, said AB Jobson. Mr. Quake with a 6.5. They are at the Performance Center, yes. Dark Angel said it was a next level boring. My wife first #1 hit was a waterfall. It's a jam, man. I remember loving that track. And then when they came out with Creep, I loved that. And I honestly don't think I could name any more of their songs. There's probably one more that I would be like, oh yeah, I know that one. There's no scrub. No scrub. They had no scrub. There was one that was Creep. So I creep, oh ah, oh ah, oh ah. So I creep, oh ah, oh ah. That one. That's not a deep cut, but I remember it. Creep. No scrub. Waterfall. That's it. I'm out. I'm out. I don't think I would know any other TLC songs. But that's all you need to know, innit? That's all you need to know. It was better than Raw. 7.5, said Kian. Collision died on Saturday, only doing 476. UFC is killing them. Move to Tuesdays, Tony Khan. No scrubs. No scrubs. RIP Left Eye. I sent an article. It's top 30 wrestlers under 30. You should look at it. It would be a good video, says Mitchell. Oh, shout out to you. Right, listen, we're going to wrap up because I need to go and do the recap video. Appreciate people joining us. It was what it was. Some people will have enjoyed it. Some people, I just think it sets up next week, to be honest. To be brutally honest, I think this just set up next week's Heatwave. So I am very much looking forward to next week. As we said, we came back and watched Heatwave last year. And it was a really, really good show. Really enjoyed it. I was really entertained. And I think it was a really good show. And I actually think the card for next week looks sick. I think next week's show looks really, really good. So I'm very excited for next week's NXT. I think this was a bit of a go-home. And it had a bit of a go-home feel. But next week should bang. And it should bang hard. So awesome, guys. Appreciate the support. As always, and I will see you again next time. Bye for now.